Hello and welcome back. This is going to be a 200 word per minute literary dictation, Gaining a Leash on Life, Part 18. And we will begin now. Dogma 12, the dogma of marking. If I have any beliefs about immortality, it is that certain dogs I have known will go to heaven and very, very few persons. I guess the hope of living beyond death, if not in body, at least in spirit, is felt by all of us, especially as we find ourselves more deeply rooted in our adult years. The apparent strength and universality of this need to be remembered, to leave our mark, to live on in another, is poignantly depicted by Richard Bode in his book Beachcombing at Miramar. On one excursion, he observed a note etched in the wet sand and then another from a second author further down the beach. And yet another, and another. Notes each reflecting something unique about its author and each as testimony to their presence on the shoreline. The last note was that which, for me, was the most profound and descriptive of our human condition. The unassigned testament simply stated, "I am here," to which Bode felt compelled to add, "I am here too." Leaving our mark, becoming a part of history, or leaving personal legacy is our way of achieving immortality. Our way of letting all who follow us know that not only were we here, but that we made an impression. We left our mark. Leaving a mark is certainly not something new for Bud, or for any of his four-legged friends. There was a time when Bud and I lived in a small college town. Without the pleasures of a backyard, he would wait to take a walk about town, sniffing at all the garden flowers we passed and the trees that lined the streets. There was this one property that had a beautiful, well-manicured front lawn. Each time we passed this house, he would walk through the grass, stop to inhale its aroma, and then, with only the slightest indication, he would plop down, roll onto his back, and begin to wiggle in the grass. He looked like a baby freely splashing in a bath, or a child rolling without concern down a grassy hill. Such joy, such freedom, such abandonment. Bud was not only aware of the wonders of the lawn, but was partaking in its wonderful feel, and in return sharing his scent. It is hard to know if the grass delighted in this process, but there is no doubt Bud did. There is also no doubt that all of his four-legged friends who passed that way that day knew that Bud was there. He left his mark. It should be obvious at this juncture in the book that Bud's mark, his legacy, extends well beyond the scent he leaves behind. In fact, it is not his impact on the external world that is his legacy at all. It is his impact on my heart and the hearts of all who have encountered him that will remain as his mark well after his scent has dissipated. Leaving our mark, what an interesting concept. What mark, what legacy do you wish to leave? What notation in the history of the world do you hope to make about your presence here, about your uniqueness and your contribution? What impart on the hearts of those who truly know you do you hope to make, and how do you intend to do this? Perhaps the following lessons from Bud will help you to answer these questions and position you better to leave your mark. A Budism on marking. When you entered this world, you probably were anything but shy in proclaiming your arrival. You cried, all in earshot knew you were alive, and they smiled and rejoiced. Yes, you probably made your mark at that point, so why stop now? When was the last time you announced that you were alive? When was the last time you announced your arrival in a way that all within earshot could smile and rejoice? If it has been a while, then it is time to start. It is time to make your mark. Start with a mini marking. If you are in a location where there is a sandy beach, why not write a message, your name, or even leave your footprint so that others patrolling the shoreline will for a brief moment know you exist. If sandy shoreline is not within your geography, then why not tack a note or a picture to a tree next to a wooded path? Perhaps it will be a hiker, a jogger, a hunter, or even a searcher of truth that discovers that note and in so doing discovers part of you. If this book finds you in a winter season, perhaps a special snow creation can be your signature. Maybe something creative, something you. Now, with a little more gusto and a bit more permanence, rather than a seaside sand or snow-based creation, why not disturb that newly leveled cement with a handprint on or your initials? Or maybe you can find an old, somewhat lonely tree stump simply waiting for your markings. Why not place a pronouncement of your love, your dreams of you on that receptive tree so that the next to travel that way will know you were there? Expanding the message. Perhaps, as you journeyed through this book, you discovered or rediscovered what you truly value in life. Why not find a way to symbolize these values, beliefs, and insights? Write them down or gather things that represent them, pictures, artifacts, creations, etc. Now, find a suitable and deserving container in which to house them. Perhaps you can create a special keepsake box, one containing a special seashell or a locket of your baby's hair. With your own creativity and style, make a time capsule of your precious thoughts, memories, hopes, and dreams, and lived values. Find a fitting spot for these to be placed in safekeeping, only to be discovered at some later date. Just perhaps on some future dig, an excavator will discover these artifacts, and upon reflection of the discovered treasure, know that there was a you who walked this way. Okay, that is the end of part 18. We will move into part 19 on the next video, and I'll see you there.